Let me know your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you all in a couple of weeks for my Walden Files 5 review. Yeah, so that Walden Files video isn't happening. I'm a filthy liar, sorry. The future of video games is looking pretty bleak, with just about every company under the sun raising the prices of their consoles and accessories to an absurd level, making gaming less and less accessible to the average consumer. Studios are charging $80 for their games and selling quote-unquote physical copies with no disc but rather a freaking download code, then getting away with it and making massive profit due to the sheer stupidity of those who paid for said games. PlayStation is only a year and 4 months away from abandoning production on physical discs for their games entirely, and are currently working on completely digital controllers as well. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough. The only thing I feel somewhat excited about is some of the new games that have been announced recently. Even if the companies that oversee these games are getting more corrupt every day, I still think that there's some developers out there who genuinely still want to make good games. So in today's video, I wanted to sit down and gush about the future of video games I'm beyond excited for. Boy oh boy, Insomniac's Wolverine game. Am I going to be kidnapped and executed by Twitter for saying anything positive about this game? It really does infuriate me how much people switched up on Insomniac after Spider-Man 2. They drop one game that has a couple problems and isn't as good as their previous titles, and people act like they completely fell off and the next game they make will be certified trash. I'm not going to cover all of the hate Wolverine's been getting from these idiots. I just don't have the time. Anyway, this game looks awesome. Of course, I can give a definite opinion until I play the game for myself, but from what I've seen, it looks like a great time. Combat looks pretty fun with fluid animation and great sound design. The visuals of the game were gorgeous, and the music sounds good as well. I can't really say a whole bunch about Wolverine because we've seen like only 8 minutes of gameplay, so there's not much to bite into. The only downside I see is the very simple mechanics of the Sentinel boss fight. Granted, this could either be the first phase of a more complex boss or just a more simple tutorial boss, who knows. But I am really excited for Wolverine. I just hope it doesn't have the same issues as Spider-Man 2. My expectations are tempered, obviously, but I can't say I'm not looking forward to this game. Can't wait for it to end up being Game of the Year worthy, only to be inevitably snubbed by GTA 6. Yet another game that was ripped apart by losers online. God of War Laufey will, hopefully, be peak, and all the misogynistic fucktards that were dogging on this game will eat their words. At least that's the plan. I can sit here and act like God of War Ragnarok was a perfect game. Was it a good game? Absolutely. Ragnarok had some genuinely amazing elements that are the reason it was so successful in the first place. But there's some issues that unfortunately drag it down. My main concern for God of War Laufey is the possibility that Santa Monica might stumble into the same pitfalls they did with Ragnarok. But from what we saw at the State of Play, it's looking pretty good. The combat looks stupidly cool with air combos and fast-paced attacks, not to mention how much Faye is just oozing with aura the entire video. The cinematography of the level showcase was also stupidly cool. You can definitely see why this woman was Kratos' wife with how intensely she's kicking ass. A lot of people criticize the existence of the new side characters Frank and Rue, and yeah, they are really goofy. Looking at the behind-the-scenes footage with Frank's actor having a massive square around him and Rue's actor just standing with an object in her hand legitimately made me laugh out loud. Why do they have to do motion capture? They're playing inanimate objects. Well, somewhat inanimate objects. All in all, though, I'm very much looking forward to God of War Laufey, despite some of the issues I have with it so far. I wasn't expecting the release date to be so soon. Let's hope it lives up to expectations. Oh my god. Y'all have no idea how happy I was to see that the last Ronin game was still happening and wasn't cancelled. I was going to lose my mind if this game was taken from us. For those who aren't aware, The Last Ronin is a very famous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic series where all of the turtles except for one have died. I really hope that this game retains the darker and much edgier tone of the comics and doesn't sanitize it for any younger viewers. Make The Last Ronin a rated M game, I am begging you. This might come as a surprise for some, but the Ninja Turtles comics are a lot darker than the cartoons that have aired over the years. And while I absolutely adore the 2012 and 2018 Nickelodeon shows, I've always wanted a more gritty take on the Ninja Turtles, and I'm super hyped to see what comes of it. The game has studios with some pretty solid reputations behind them, so let's wait and see what they cook up. So, would I be considered a Resident Evil LARPer if I've only played the modern games and not the originals? Look, I might not have played the original games, but I still love Resident Evil. Earlier this year, I went on a marathon playing through the remakes of RE2, 3, 4, along with Biohazard, Village, and Requiem. And holy shit, what an incredible franchise this is. I haven't finished the Resident Evil 2 remake because I low-key didn't like it, but the others were genuinely fantastic. Resident Evil 4, Biohazard, and Requiem are without a doubt my favorites. So I was pretty surprised to see a new remake announced and in development so soon after Requiem's release. Again, I haven't played through the original games, but I sure have watched people play them, and Code Veronica in particular seemed like a mistake. I've heard that the original version has a lot of problems and has aged very poorly in some areas, so we'll see if the remake irons out those issues and creates a faithful recreation, or manages to piss off OG fans like they did with Resident Evil 3's remake.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Honestly, I don't have too much to say about Crossfire. I just thought it looked really cool and might be worth trying out when it releases. The visuals are really, really damn good, and the gameplay, at least from the little bit we saw, doesn't look too bad either. I can't really call myself beyond hyped for this game, as it hasn't gotten a gameplay trailer yet, so I'm cautiously optimistic, let's say. But the game looks fairly good, but obviously that's subject to change. We'll just have to see how that works out. Oh yeah, baby. Time for the weird kid shit now. As said before on this channel, I am a lifelong fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNAF. My last video covered the announcements of FNAF World 2 and Security Breach 2 that were revealed on the franchise's 12th anniversary on August 8th. If you aren't familiar with FNAF and know nothing about the first FNAF World and Security Breach, here's the TLDR. Security Breach was made by Steelwool Studios alongside the creator of the franchise, Scott Cawthon. And it's bad. FNAF World was an attempt at an RPG that Scott Cawthon released in 2016. It's also bad. To end this section on a shorter note, I just want FNAF World 2 and Security Breach 2 to improve on the major problems of their predecessors. I want to see FNAF World 2 have an actual story with a world and cast of characters that I actually care about, along with proper tutorials for its game mechanics and better gameplay in general that doesn't look seizure-inducing. I'd like Security Breach 2 to just not do anything the first game did. Steel has clearly gotten a lot better at game design and learned a lot of lessons from Security Breach. It's also clear Scott learned to not keep the story of a game secret from the people making the game for him like he did with the Security Breach, because the latest FNAF game, Secret of the Mimic, had by far the most straightforward and understandable lore of the entire franchise. So I'm certain, at the very least, FNAF World 2 and Security Breach 2 won't be nearly as flawed as their previous games.
Well, Cuphead and his Pelmug Man.
Ah yes, Cuphead. A game that, in my opinion, deserves a lot more popularity than it has. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cuphead definitely isn't hated or anything, but I do believe it deserves to be in the conversation for one of the best games ever made. It's the only game I've ever played that I can confidently call a flawless masterpiece. I can't think of a single thing wrong with the game. So as you can imagine, I was very much hyped when two new games were announced at Summer Games Fest this year. We're not only getting an original 8-bit style Cuphead game titled Mighty Cuphead Adventure, but we're also getting another mainline Cuphead game sometime in the future. Now these are games I can say I'm beyond hyped for. Considering the last major Cuphead content we got was 4 years ago, I'm definitely looking forward to what Studio MDHR has in store for us. They never disappoint. Alrighty folks, hopefully I didn't piss off too many people with this video. I'd like to know everyone's thoughts in the comments. Even if you have something negative to say, comment anyway so this video gets more views. I'm not that great at outros, I'm still learning how to do them and learning how to pace a video in general, so if this ended rather abruptly, I apologize. Take care of yourselves folks, and I'll see you in the next video.